Now we begin the session, yeah. So I would like to wish every one of us here in Malaysia, good afternoon. Also in Pakistan, Turkey, good morning, and elsewhere in the world, good morning or good afternoon. A very very warm welcome to our session for today. My name is Janet T. Actually, I'm the Secretary at ICOM-Malaysia. But first and foremost, I'd like to thank the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity to be the moderator for this esteemed conference and for today's session, which is Preventive Conservation and Collections in Museum. Today is the third day of the International Virtual Conference of Museums with the collaboration of ICOM-Malaysia, ICOM-Pakistan, ICOM-Turkey, and KUMID-Turkey. And it is a great honor for Malaysia to be hosting today's session. For the last 2 days, we have had eminent speakers and curators deliberating and sharing on disasters risk reduction in museums, prevention of the illicit traffic of the cultural objects in their respective countries, and have been much enriching and stimulating for us and for the participants. Continuing on today's session, we have 5 speakers and a keynote address speaker who will be talking on the preventive conservation in collections in museums. To begin today's session, I have the honor to invite the Honorable Datuk Kamarul Kasim, Chair of ICOM-Malaysia, Kamarul Baharın, sorry, Datuk, who is also the Director General of the Department of Museums Malaysia, to deliver his keynote speech. Without further ado, Datuk, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Janet T, our moderator for today's session. I would like to begin my keynote address by saying Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning, very good afternoon. First of all, I would like to welcome our presenters, Madam Nimala Sharifuddin, Curator, Collection Management Division, Departments of Museums Malaysia, Mr. Fazal E. Durrani, Principal of Paktun Khwa College of Art, AKUM, Director of PR, AKUM, Pakistan, Madam Hatijah Temur Yildiz, sorry if my pronunciation is inaccurate, member of ICOM-Turkey, Director of Nevşehir Restoration and Conservation Regional Laboratory, Associate Professor Dr. Ali Akin Akyol, member of KUMID, member of ICOM-Turkey, Ankara Haji Bariam Valley Universities, Faculty of Fine Art, Department of Conservation and Restorations of Cultural Properties, and last but not least, Madam Sadat Guna, President of KUMID and Project Coordinator Turkey, respected audience. Ladies and gentlemen, conservation in Malaysia is relatively a new field of study compared to other countries who has been advanced in spearheading this important field. I would like to mention this because this is perhaps connected to the history of museum institution in Malaysia, which has only begun in the late 19th century. Since the establishment of National Museum Malaysia in 1963, conservation has been given attention as many cultural objects were collected and excavated from archaeological sites. And in 1990, the inception of the Department of Museum Malaysia became a stepping stone to take this field seriously, where a conservation unit has established to undertake the task of conserving all cultural objects. As the collection of departments keep on increasing, the task of this unit became more indispensable and requires proper management and planning. In early year 2000, the conservation unit was upgraded into a division with the increase of officers and staff. And it is also important for me to share that the Department of Museum Malaysia is the prime institution in the country that monitor and manage all museums under the federal government. So we estimate there is about 236 museums all over Malaysia. However, it's also uh, become a center of reference to all matters related to museology, as well as conservation by the state museum, institution museum, and private museum. Because in Malaysia, we divided museum under many categories like federal, state, institution, and also private museum. The responsibility of the conservators encompasses not only to cater to the needs of the department, but also for the whole country. As the conservation method and techniques in the preservations of culture object, either through preventive or curative process, becomes increasingly developed with rapid growth in scientific and technological approach, particularly in advanced country with mega museum like in China, Korea, and many others. So the conservator of departments of Museum Malaysia have been continuously engaged with conservators and also expert in conservations and preservations of cultural objects from other countries by attending workshop, seminar, courses organized by ICOM, SMS, or maybe Simios PAFA. Simios PAFA means Southeast Asia Ministry of Education under what we call Program of Ecology and Fine Art, and also UPCAN, and also Call Asia, and even through attachment to renowned museum for them and to be aptly exposed professionally as conservators. So the the gradual increase of cultural object acquisition by the department, departments of Museum Malaysia, demand a very careful inspection by the conservators to ensure their well-being and to help extending their lifespan through preventive conservation. As you can see in the picture, we conserve train, we conserve some huge object also, and as I mentioned just now, by conserving, by ensure this well-being, and to help extending their lifespan through preventive conservation. To date, the Department of Museum Malaysia, we have a total of about approximately around 435,503 cultural objects, which are divided into three categories, namely ethnology with 368,888 objects. We also have natural history with 75,880 specimens, and archaeology with 322,737 objects. And the numbers of collection keep increasing day by day. So although our conservators are professionally trained in preventive conservation, it is also good to have a collaboration with other fields of study as a way forward in enhancing the available method that are used, which may help to formulate a new sustainable and dynamic approach. Taking into account the importance of having these collaborations, therefore, since 2005, beside cooperation with local universities, the departments of Museum Malaysia has also collaborated with Malaysia Nuclear Agency in monitoring airborne and also pollution in the exhibition gallery and also our repository. So the finding has enabled the department to plan for effective pollution control method to decrease the artifact deterioration risk and also to secure the health of the staff. So there are more activities on preventive conservation application in the care of the object have been done. As popular saying mentioned that prevention is better than cure. So the prevention activities is indeed the best alternative to care for the object instead of performing curative conservation, which definitely require time, high cost, and also advanced technology for each object treatment. So as a collection, as we know that collection is heart and soul of every museum, it is our duty to care for them in the best way that we can, and hopefully this session will be able to shed some light of the preventive conservation of museum collection that are carried out in Malaysia, either in Pakistan and also Turkey, to be shared as guidance, information, knowledge that will be beneficial to all of us. So I hope today's presentation will benefit all parties and will strengthen our cooperation in the future. So with that remarks, I end my keynote address speech with thank you very much.
Thank you, Datuk Kamarul. Thank you for sharing the conservation in Malaysia. And without further ado, we turn to our speakers for today. The first speaker for today is Nimala binti Sharifuddin, who is the curator in the Collection Management Division of the Department of Museums Malaysia. Nimala has 15 years of experience in the Conservation Management Division at the Department of Museums Malaysia. And she's really qualified as she has attended several training courses both in Australia at Art Lab, at the National Museum of Ethnology of Leiden in Netherlands, and also the ICC, the International Training Center in Beijing at the Palace Museum. And of recent, she has been posted to the Collection Management Division. And Nimala will be speaking on preventive conservation on the organic collections of the Department of Museums Malaysia. So without further ado, may I invite Nimala to present her paper. Oops. Go ahead, please, Nimala.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone from all over the world. So first of all, I would like to say thank you to the ICOM for giving Malaysia, and particularly the Department of Museum Malaysia, to be here in sharing our knowledge and experience in dealing with the preventive conservation of the organic collection in the museum. So sorry, just give me time to. Okay. Okay. Okay. Okay. Okay. My topic for today is about the preventive conservation of the organic collection of the Department of Museum Malaysia. Okay, just a brief description on the our department, DMM. The shortened Department of Museum Malaysia is DMM. So DMM is the prominent museum institution in Malaysia which has been collecting national tangible heritage since the establishment of its earliest museum, notably the Perak Museum in 1888 and the National Museum of Malaysia in 1963. Currently, the department has under its wing 22 museums located all over Malaysia. So we have collection, more than 400,000 collection, comprised of ethnology, natural history, and archaeological collection. So our mission and our vision is to sustain the longevity of the national history, culture, and natural history through the acquisition of collection, conservation, exhibition, research, documentation, publication, promotion, and education of heritage to the public. And also the department also uphold the importance of preservation of its collection by practicing the conservation approach, both on curative and preventive conservation. Okay, this is a brief description on our collection, ethnology, specimen, and archaeology. And what you can see on the PowerPoint is example of our large collection of ethnology, specimen, and archaeological collection. Okay. Okay, this is example of organic collection of the Department of Museums Malaysia. There is a battle set, the floral design by the very intricate design of floral motif. Also the traditional music equipment, the traditional weaponry, also the orang asli orang asli wooden sculpture, and also the leather, the shoes, the Chinese beaded shoes comprised of beads and leather. Also, another example of the organic collection of our department is various type of organic artifact like mask, traditional flying kite, traditional Malay games, numismatic, textile, wayang kulit, also traditional scom. Okay. Okay, now let us move to the agent of degradation of the organic artifact. Organic artifact compared to the inorganic artifact are more susceptible to the various of degradation because of its material, and they are more vulnerable to various factors of degradation, include light, relative humidity, pollutants, microorganisms, natural or man-made disasters, and pet threats. And these are four major categories of factors of degradation that can degrade the organic collection, which chemical reaction, physical force, environmental factors, and biological growth. And this process of degradation might be occur individually, like high humidity may lead to the mold growth. And also these factors can interact to each other that may accelerate the degradation process of the organic collection. So this is example of the degradation of the organic artifact. The physical force like shock and abrasion that can damage an object through tear, breaks, broken wood, dents, scratch, and others. Also people like external factors like vandalism, internal factors like untrained staff. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry. Technical problem. Okay, this is example of degradation on the organic artifact like physical force, people, pests, environment, disasters. This all occur in give rise to every museum all over the world, like people, external vandalism, and untrained staff. Pests like animals, insect, and mold growth that weaken and stain the object. And also the environmental factors, which is the major risk of factors of degradation in our collection, which is like humidity, temperature, light radiation, air pollution, or contaminants. That these environmental factors disintegrate object, discolor them, fade the textile, the organic collection, bring mold growth and brittlement. And also, sorry. Macam mana nak? Please. Minimize kan. Kacau. Sorry Okay. Sorry for the technical problem. So another is a disaster, which is like fire or water. Fire can burn or produce smoke deposit, while water like flood and broken pipe will swell organic materials. And or worse, that both of these disaster can give total damage to the organic collection. Okay, this is the example of the organic collection that has damage because of the environmental factors and also because of the mishandling and limited knowledge by the previous personnel that lead to the damage of the object. Like you say in the metal embroidered embroidery, where they put a glue on the back of the metal embroidered textile, so the back of the textile has become damaged very badly. And also this is example of very improper display on which bark clothes was displayed on the improper mannequin, and it has been there for like more than 5 to 10 years old, and it's very difficult to take this brittle object outside, and this object also has stained badly and become very brittle. So what we do to conserve our collection? Okay, this is the approach to preventive conservation of our collection. The organic material, we know they are originated from living organism and natures with biological function, and hence will eventually subject to aging. However, the preventive conservation will slow down the process of aging and lengthen the span of life of this organic collection. Therefore, our department has taken various preventive measures by providing stable environment that prevent from factors that may accelerate the degradation of the organic collection. So this is following the ICOM CC, which state that preventive conservation is defined as all measures and action to avoid and minimize future or possible loss or deterioration. So it carries not individually but as a group, and these measures are indirect. They do not directly interfere with the materials and physical structures of the item. So this is our aims for the preservation for preventive conservation in DMM. So we strive to minimize the need for interventive conservation, which is time consuming and costly. We want also to continuously sustain the longevity of the organic collection in our museum. We want to build a strong teamwork and professionalism through participation of professionals from different unit and division as a whole team to to practice preventive conservation in our museum. And we also want to provide effective cost management method for the preservation of organic collection in our museum. So this is our plan. We collaborate with personnel in museum in preventive conservation of the organic collection. There is division involved in the preventive conservation, which is conservation management division, collection management division, the exhibition division, museum, and security. We focus on the collection in the museum repositories, in the exhibition area, in the text transit areas, and also in the security of the building in the museum. So we target collection as a whole. We do long-term plan with teamwork, and the management work very hard for the budget allocation for us. And all of this process are done in systematic management. We aim for the building instead of the small areas of the collection. We target the possible risk of degradation, and we also, by this practice of preventive conservation, we build up professionalism among curators and conservators. That's how we aim for the sustainability of the collection for the benefit of the society. So how we apply the preventive conservation? First is the environmental monitoring. So this is what's suggested in Malaysia. For repositories and exhibition is like 15 to 20 Celsius for temperature. Relative humidity like 45 to 55%, and light is below 50 lux. This because the department aimed to provide stable and safe environment on the organic collection in the repositories and displays. And also for the textile collection, we rotate it in the exhibition and kept and rested in the storage room to protect them from the risk of degradation, particularly from the light radiation. So this is example of humidity control in the gallery, where we change the previous equipment, the thermohygrometer, to the electronic data logger. So we keep update to the current technology to make sure that our collection in this picture is fossil to be better preserved. Okay, this the second method is the appropriate environmental control. So we have different storage room in our storage room or repository with different type of material, size, and condition. So we have put a control system that you see in the pictures, where we control the temperature and relative humidity of the repository. Doors are constantly closed except for necessary work to prevent from fluctuation in humidity. So the staff working hours is in the repositories is also limited to achieve the stable indoor climate in the repository. This is how we protect the collections, so we can prevent it from dust, particle, or dirts. And we also practice that any personnel who enter the repositories have to use the shoes provided by us in the main entrance of the repositories to prevent from dust and dirt from entering the storage room. So the housekeeping is scheduled regularly, and the cleaning staff are equipped with at least a basic knowledge on the preservation of museum collection. Okay. This is we have like our Director General has mentioned before that we have established a partnership with the Malaysian Nuclear Agency, which we collaborate in detecting the dust particles or airborne by setting up a GenStack monitor in the main repository. Okay. We also established the security system in our museum, which this is like CCTV, the electronic access to the repositories. Also, we do manually on which every personnel that has to enter the repository has to write their name, purpose, and time manually in the book provided at the main entrance. And we also provide sanitizer, because now the COVID-19 is very serious issue in our country. So sanitizer is a very is a necessity in our repository. Okay, the next approach of preventive conservation is the object support. Okay, this is how we support the textile collection. They are supported with different methods of storage based on their type, size, and condition. And these storage methods sometimes serve dual purpose. So they can display in that kind of storage, and then after that they will be rested in the storage room, also with the same storage support. And this is at the National Textile Museum of Malaysia, on which Madam Janet is the previous director of the National Textile Museum, which she also involved in the establishment of this mounting support to support all the organic collection in the National Textile Museum. So this museum we really control the temperature, relative humidity, and light system. And also we provide a very good mounting support to the collection to protect the object from stress and physical force. Okay, this is another example of the object support, the object mounting in the National Textile Museum. Okay, this is object packaging for transfer, shipment. Another example, this when we want to like ship this object to the to abroad for the temporary exhibition. So we carefully did the object mounting to prevent like vibration, shock to the object. Okay, and despite all we do, we understand that we cannot okay, sometimes we have changed because our country, Malaysia, we have rainy season, and for the like open exhibition, there will be like challenge in controlling the humidity. So sometimes the humidity will fluctuate or getting higher, getting very high from what we from what should be. So this is one of the challenge in maintaining the stability condition of the object, especially during the rainy season, on which our country always has a rainy season and very high humidity. Okay, conclusion. Okay, in the preservation, okay, I come to my end of presentation. So I conclude by in the preservation of the museum collection, there will be challenged either by the sudden disaster, the climate, people, and others. Nevertheless, the department, in regard of preventive conservation of its organic collection, will continue to uphold the appropriate conservation standard to find the latest and up-to-date mechanism to overcome any possible issues and challenge. Our department are committed to preserve, protect, and sustain the national heritage for the appreciation, pride, and joy of society. I hope that okay. Thank you for the listening, and I hope all will apa
Benefit, yeah.
I say
Yeah.
benefit.
Yeah.
Sorry, my
It's
suddenly my
okay. It's
English
okay.
stuck.
Anyway,
I hope everyone will benefit from my sharing
Eric, yeah.
session. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you. Thank
getting
you.
back to Madam Janet.
Thank you, Nimala. Thank you for the rather interesting preventive conservation,
Yeah.
especially so in a tropical country where this we have really relative high humidity and very adverse temperature. But nonetheless, I think the Department of Museum is doing a fine job conserving and preventing all these artifacts, cultural artifacts, priceless culture artifacts from deteriorating further. So with that, we come to the second speaker, who is Fazli Durrani, who's the principal at the Patungwa College of Arts. Sorry for my pronunciation. Akum, director at Akum, Pakistan. He will talk on the preventive conservation on museum collection in Pakistan. So may I have the honor to call on Fazli to present the paper? Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Janet G. There is my presentation. I hope that I'm sharing the screen rightly with you people.
Yep. Thank you.
Preventive conservation on museum collections in Pakistan. In my introduction, you see that I'm working as a director PIAC. PIAC is a Pukhtunkhwa Institute of Art and Culture. Although Pakistan have a lot of museums and with various subjects and like archaeological museums and site museums, herbariums, like our museum is archaeological and ethnological. So PIAC was established in 2018. That was the institute. It was clubbing together of the Arts College, the regional language Pashto department, and the museum, and our area of expertise and research as Pakhtunkhwa mainly. We are working on different aspects. Here is a shout to everybody again. Here is some two photographs from the our excavation at Mia Khan sites. And in preventive conservation, we study and we observe that even excavation needs preventive measures. Due to unskilled labor, we lost this huge, extraordinary, huge structure and sculpture. It's the ear of the of a Buddha statue, and this is the foot of the Buddha statue, which we collected in pieces. Etymological map of our country, and this is a basic introduction, like Pakistan have 8 UNESCO World Heritage Sites and 26 sanctuaries and various archaeological museums. Most of it are different museums, but mentioned here are some. And to me, it's my museum, F.A. Durrani Museum, which was named after the legendary archaeologist Farzand Ali Durrani. He was an Indus Valley civilization specialist, and it was established in 2011. The museum has a large collection of different valleys of Pakistan, mainly in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Swat Hunza Valley, Pashtun culture, and now Kailasha Valley. In the previous preservation, we have observed that Nirmala mentioned the visitor's point of view and the visitor's visiting procedure. This is one of the picture which shows degradation due to the visitors and touching of the visitors, and probably it makes some problems. What is generally preventive measures? These are the appropriate environmental conditions, theft and vandalism, pest management, transportation, and exhibition and showcasing. To me, theft and vandalism, that is very important, because even sometimes your own staff, which is unprofessional staff, and you just hire people for the seats, or whether it is on political grounds, whether it is on other grounds, whether it is on unsuitability and not properly education. So these people, they join you in museums and they are not properly educated and properly trained for museum. And sometimes thefts occurred even to their negligence also, and ignorance also. And the main thing is exhibition and showcasing. And that during my stay in Europe, I learned that vacuum creation, that is a very strong preventive measure for the exhibition and showcasing of the objects. Sometimes it creates, it makes in our museum and in other museums in Pakistan that we showcase things in a rather straight away way and just display it. But we don't have display officers, we don't have learning officers, and due to lack of these people, the objects in the showcases, they become prone to damage. According to these things, we have to adapt some measures for the prevention. I'm coming direct to that, and that is theft vandalism. So we need regular checks of artifacts, and proper security system is also needed. But with that, we need properly educated people, and we need a lot of people, a lot of trained people who can work in museums. There, with this thing, if you don't have properly educated and properly trained people, so you have careless individuals, and these careless individuals, they didn't give you good results in museums and good protection in museums, and rather you have to take the people on a very regular basis with proper qualification in museology, display, and other related trainings, like you must have a chemical chemist with you, you must have a painter with you, you must have a restorer with you in the museum. Then fire and water is natural calamities, physical forces, then pests. In our areas, that is rather in Mardan, where I'm sitting, and where this museum is situated, not only pests are there, but there is, the land is also saline, and there is a lot of humidity and saline infiltration in the museums. And then corroding technological software must be used for the corrodal areas, like original should be kept, and practice policies for the caretaking, and artifacts should also be implemented. And then temperature management. Sometimes temperature management is not happening in our museums and our displays. Even the lighting problems we have. And while sitting in a university museum, it is observed that university museums, which is which is part of a very large organization, sometimes we have problems with the employees and the people and the regular transfers and things happens. And
firstly, sorry to disturb you, but can you make your presentation full screen, please? There's a request. Your Power PP presentation for full screen. Thank you very much. Make your PowerPoint presentation full screen.
Is it okay?
I think you click at the bottom right-hand corner. There's like a screen that you click, then you will get full screen. You see dekat sini kan?
It's coming full screen with me, but
is it okay, Zahida? Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. Continue, please.
Then here, which we identified some of the methods and some of the things which we, sorry.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. The measure we identified, that is vacuum creation in the cupboards and the display areas, which will rather stop the humidity and the temperature and also the light infiltration. Chemical conservation is needed, and as you have seen in Nirmala presentation, the textile objects and the wood objects, they need chemical conservation. We have also some manuscripts and paintings and textiles from the Kalesha Valley, and but these needs chemical conservation. Display officers, here is my suggestion that being an art and design personnel and trainer, we need to have proper art and design graduates involved for the display of the material. Another major problem is the control photography is needed, because everybody coming to the museum, the visitor, although we control it, but photography is happening, and it's happening with the major lights, and they damage the surface of the objects. We need to have in every museum learning officers and museum guides. And another thing which is needed, that is the regular refresher courses regarding the museums and regarding the international protocols to be taught to the people, and the visitor control. Again, here now I'm coming to the prevention of the things, and this is a name you are seeing it. This is a Kalasha girl, Sana Chatrali. And I want to share her story with you, that they approached, because we have a Kalasha gallery. This girl approached us, and she was from the Kalasha tribe. It's a living tribe having a different religion, and most of the people are converted to Islam, but some are keeping with the traditional Kalasha religion, which is a Darwinian religion, and they have some animistic worship methods, but they are wearing special kind of clothes and special costumes. This girl who is converted to Islam, she told that her family, although converted to Muslim traditions, but they don't live the Kalasha traditions and Kalasha culture. And for all the 4 festivals of the Kalasha people, they are producing Kalasha culture material and dresses. And this is the business of their entire family. And in this way, they are safeguarding the previous religion and the previous tradition and the cultural traditions of the area, which is the living traditions of that area. What we have done to encourage these people, like we are having 2 specializations in a degree program, textile and fashion design. So we reserved 5 seats for them. And we are trying to encourage them. And we are also trying not to help them rather in establishing some shops and some boutiques, also to give them proper training in textile and these things. So in this way, they can keep on with the traditions, and a living history should not be destroyed. Another thing which I am sharing is, this is one of the painting at our college, and that is a 63 feet long watercolor painting, which was done in 2016. The problem after doing this painting, it remained world longest painting for 2 years. 1617 and 1718, and then it was replaced by other experts and other countries, and they made 75 feet or 65 feet long watercolor painting. But the problem with this painting is not only display, because we need a 65 feet long place, but also how to save it and how to preserve it. And we are in talks with the chemistry department here at the university that some conservation should be done for this, as the paper should not be damaged and it should be preserved for the future uses, because it's a big thing and it's completely give a glimpse of the history of the country. Here is our collection. That is the Hala collection. Although it's in porcelain, but still we need the light control here. This is an art piece from Multan, and it's done on the camel skin. We need to take preservation methods and preventive methods for that. Colonial things, colonial weaponry from the colonial era. Grinding instruments from the Miahan site. Again, this is wheat grinding and maize grinding stone instrument. I'm forgetting the name, but we use it for grinding wheat grains, and it becomes into a wheat flour. This is the pre-Harappan archaeological artifacts record from Miahan site. As this is a museum of ethnology and archaeology, so these things which are radios and tape recorders and there's gramophone, which are becoming extinct. So we collected these also for display in museum, and we need proper electricians and transistor technicians to develop it. Thank you. This is the museum site. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fazli. Thank you for the interesting presentation. And of course, most museums faces similar challenges in doing preventive conservation. But I think with hopefully with interaction and exchange, we'll be able to overcome some of these challenges. So with that, once again, thank you to Pakistan, Fazli. And we continue with our third speaker for today, which is Hadija from Turkey. She's a member of ICOM-Turkey and also the director of the Nashahir Restoration and Conservation Regional Laboratory. And also she's a chemical engineer. It's really interesting to be able to listen to Hadija. So please go ahead. The floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone.
And before you do, can you full screen your presentation? F4, you just click on your keyboard.
1 minute, please.
Yeah. So we can view it full screen.
Yeah, I understand, but I can't do it.
F4. Can you tap F? I mean, there's a button F4 on your computer.
Yes.
F4.
F4.
En alttaki tuşlardan sağda soket gibi olan bir tane var ya, oradan da büyütebilirsin. En alttaki tuşlardan. En sağdaki.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hiç tıklayamıyorum şu anda. There
is no control.
I don't touch it.
Can you?
Sorry. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Sorry. Okay. The first conservation study started in 1937 in Archaeological Museum Chemical Laboratory in Turkey. Conservation studies were carried out for 50 years in this laboratory. Then 1985, Istanbul Conservation Central Laboratory was established. In the line with the needs in the field's conservation over time, 9 more restoration and conservation regional laboratory was established in 2012. Here you see a total of 10 conservation laboratories on the Turkey map. Dark blue color is Istanbul Laboratory. Light yellow color is Bursa Laboratory. And orange color is Izmir Laboratory. Pink color is Ankara Laboratory. Light blue color is Antalya Laboratory. Dark green is Trabzon Laboratory. Brown color is Erzurum Laboratory. Blue color is Diyarbakır Laboratory. Light green color laboratory is Gaziantep Laboratory. Dark yellow color is Nevşehir Laboratory. It's our laboratory. You can see the statistic, 89,647 movable cultural heritage conservation has been completed in 7 years. I would like to show some conservation study samples. Here you see some conservation studies. And our laboratory location in Nevşehir city center, it's approximately 750 square meter. Here you see our plan. We have 3 conservation laboratories. You can see a video of basic museum on the web. These include the historical Cappadocia. Cappadocia has 3 different views as the word meaning. Firstly, each community will give the Persian Empire the famous item in their country. Cappadocia gives a horse, and it can be seen inscription. Therefore, Katpatuka means the land of beautiful horse. Secondly, its former name meanings is the community inhabiting the Cappadocia River. Thirdly, means the community that believes in the goddess Kepata. Cappadox, Kepata, and Katpatuka. Geological formation of Cappadocia. Formation started with volcanic activities 60 million years ago. The Cappadocia region was formed by past activity of 3 volcanic mountains. Name is Erciyes, Hasanda, and Güllüdağ. And it's very interesting formation. Locally people called for fairy chimney. The stream was formed by wind and rainfall. Its body made of soft volcanic tuff, and it kept it hard in heavy rock. Today, Cappadocia region is consist of 5 cities: Nevşehir, Aksaray, Niğde, Kayseri, and Kırşehir cities. It covers an area of about 40,000 kilometers. And rock site of Cappadocia. Rocky Cappadocia covers a smaller area of 25,000 square kilometers. Is Uçhisar, Göreme, and Ürgüp. Cappadocia, it was included in the list as Göreme Natural Park and Rock Site Cappadocia by UNESCO in 1985 as a World Heritage Site. Here you see volcanic tuff and different periods. We look at the historical background of Cappadocia region. The first archaeological studies were done by an English archaeologist in 1960. And I want to show Aksaray Aşıklıhöyük. It's very interesting information. The world's oldest known brain surgery was performed in a woman aged 25 in Aşıklıhöyük and Asyan Trade Roads. Kayseri, Kaniş, Karum, Kültepe. Kültepe tablets is UNESCO World Memory Register. And Hittite period, and Persian period, and Roman period. Roman period is very important in Cappadocia because first Christianity came to Cappadocia and they built a rocky caved underground city and unique wall painting in Cappadocia. And they live in there, here you see. And Selçuk's period, it's really important figurines on stone. And Ottoman period, you can see, this is my hometown. The last Christian left Cappadocia behind in 1944. And my grandparents come to Balkans for this city, name is Sinassos. And this is wall painting in 40 martyrs in Cappadocia. Wall paintings are painted in two different techniques. The first painting to work directly on the background with any processing. Secondly, with Seco technique, you see dark charge in Göreme Open Air Museum. Here see the different pigments and some charge and red ochre, and this is other charge. And Tokalı charge. Tokalı charge is in Göreme Open Air Museum. The charge consists of two parts. The old Tokalı is closer to entrance, you can see. This is 14th century, and other part is New Tokalı. New Tokalı is 11th century. The most important feature of the charge, because having a painter just his entire life since his birth. Another feature is lapis pigment. You know, lapis pigment is found in Afghanistan, and this charge very reliable for Cappadocia. And there are no structural problems in the charge. Since 2013, conservation studies have been carried out in cooperation with Nevşehir Museum, our laboratory, and Tuscia University in Italy. Here you see our documentation legend. Then we conservation studies and grid toning. We completed our off-south wall art studies last. Here are study samples. And other working is Üzümlü conservation project. This charge name is grape charge. Byzantine iconoclasm period chart dated 8th and 9th century. This charge location is Red Valley. We started working on 2014. Our partner is Tuşkuba University, Nevşehir Museum, and our laboratory. We installed a data logger inside the charge. Here you see the changes, temperature and humidity. And we want to see lichen effects. And we found some lichen effects protective rock survey. And other, we can do some doubting and disappeared to vandalism. Here you see yellow site. And other project is in 2015, the meetings of European Union project was held in Cappadocia. Its name is EVEGLOSS, European Installed Glossary of Conservation Terms for Wall Paintings and Architectural Surface. It has a 10 language. And other project is Tower Charge. It's training and meeting course. In 2017, we carried out international project with conservators from our 10 laboratories. Our project partner is Tokyo Natural Institute in Japan and Ankara Hacı Bayram University and Ürgüp Museum. Our projects consist of 4 seasons. And here you see our colleagues. And last project is Saint-Simon project. Saint-Simon project is location in Paşabağ Open Air Museum. And 19th, 30th century, here is different sites of the waves. And our colleague is same, our partner in Grape Charge, Tuşkuba University, Nevşehir Museum, and our laboratory. We put in the 5 data logger in charge, and we will see the different temperature. And we have a weather station in that part, equal for the charge. And we choose to charge 2 racks choose around the charge for we want to see weathering speed in Cappadocia. Its estimated date 2 cm of erosion occurs economically in Cappadocia. If COVID ends, we will continue to our conservation efforts. Thank you for attention and listening.
Thank you very much, Hatice, for your rather interesting and very impressive sites and monuments. It makes me want to visit the place. It's so interesting. So thank you very much for the sharing. Yeah, I think you have done a tremendous good job in preserving the rock paintings and also the buildings as well. So
I'm
thank
very
you
lucky.
very
Thank you.
much. And with that, we come to the fourth speaker, who is Associate Professor Dr. Ali Akin Akol. With me here, I have his CV. It's so impressive. Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
Yeah, he's so impressive. He received his BA in chemistry in 97, master in archaeometry in 2000, and his PhD in archaeometry in 2009 from the Middle East Technical University. He was an instructor in the field of chemistry and restoration and conservation at Ankara 2000 to 2013, Ghazi 2013 to 18, and Ankara again 2018, where he directed historical material research and conservation laboratories. His academic studies are mainly on archaeological materials that are soil, clay, stone rock, ceramic, mortar, plaster, glass, and pigmentation. And he analyzes and their characteristics. He's also specialized. He also specialized in the field of museum education. Very impressive.
Thank you. There
He's a
is
member of
another
KUMID.
presentation tomorrow. Yes, for the museum
Yeah.
education.
So really, and he was also the moderator for the session on the yesterday section, and he'll be also moderating tomorrow's section. He'll be presenting tomorrow. So with that very impressive biodata, may I invite Dr. Ali to present his paper?
Thank you so much, your kind words. Thank you. It's my honor to be here and sharing something about archaeometry. We are using archaeometry. I presented some terminological things and focused on the artifact studies to conservation. I am the first PhD degree in Turkey as an archaeometry. This is my another honor. We are very limited. In general, the Western country or any other laboratory-based study, archaeological science, historical science, architectural sciences, we say that all are archaeometry, producing figures and some items. Yes. Archaeometry is interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary character. Archaeometry is a synthetic term indicating that ancient things or phenomena related to them are to be measured and quantified. Archaeometry is certainly older than its name. The term archaeometry is to be somewhat older than 1958, when in Oxford, a journal was published with this name. In fact, the application of physical method goes back to the 19th century, and chemistry was employed even earlier still. I'm still chemist, archaeochemist. I mostly use this abbreviation. Chemical analysis started around in the first part of the 18th century on especially pigment and metal studies. The famous English chemist Davy, for example, investigated in 1915 a pot with rest of color originally belonging to the painter in the Rome of emperors. This study is assumed to be the first important archaeometric study in the literature. One of the concerns with the systematic study of our ancestors and their way of life, thus past human behavior in all aspects, is inferred from the archaeological record as revealed in the first instance by excavation. Because of somewhat restricted nature of the archaeological record, it's obviously essential to extract as much information from this record as is possible. In extracting this information, archaeometry or archaeological science play a major role. Archaeometry is mainly application of the methods of natural fundamentals, science such as physics, and this is a basic study, chemistry, biology, archaeological materials, to be archaeological methods and interpreting the result with the archaeologist and related scientists all together. It's a team working. In fact, it can be said that archaeometry is a combination of all experimental sciences with archaeology. Physics, chemistry, and this kind of basic studies is very important. The beginning of archaeological studies dates back to the very old times. However, the use and application of disciplines such as physics, chemistry, meteorology, geology, mostly used in this area, biology, biochemistry, material studies, mathematics, statistics, and computer science in the evolution of archaeological findings, increasing more and more during the last 50, 60 years or more. These studies have contributed to the development of an interdisciplinary cooperation and brought about the new concept called archaeometry. The name is coined from archaeology and metric, meaning measurement of the system of the measuring of the archaeological. It denotes the integration of the archaeological and the digital numerical results of method based on natural or applied science. Identification of the materials, their production technologies, sources, and their trade routes can also be determined through physical, chemical methods of investigation. Likewise, the production techniques, composition, coloring techniques, historical and artistic properties of ceramics, marble, stone, metallic findings can be determined through various analytical methods. I have 10 minutes. I am speaking very quickly. So the museum studies, portable, non-portable, archaeological area, open air museum, all. I mean museum for all, galleries, archaeological areas for all. There is some very popular studies in the world as an archaeometric studies. You see the pyramids in Egypt, Chinese soldiers, terracotta soldiers is very important. Stone Age every time, very important. Another one, underwater archaeology near coast of Anatolia, Uluburun shipwreck. They are very important for the archaeometric studies and very popular in the museum, archaeometry in the museum. Museum ensure the imagination. Creativity, sense of aesthetics are developed in that area. They also support thinking through various methods such as looking at objects, working with objects, comparing, recalling, correlating, classifying, questioning, reaching abstract concepts from material observation, going to the known from the unknown, and making generalizations from observing the obvious. A museum is non-profit making, permanent institution in the service of the society and its development, open to the public, which acquires, conserves, reaches, communicates, and exhibits the tangible and intangible heritage of humanity and its environment for the purpose of education, study, and environment. This is the terminology and definition of the ICOM 2007. I share this as a museum. What about the museum? In Turkey, so many international research institutes having valuable documents on archaeology and archaeometric studies, libraries that are American, British, German, Netherlands, French, and Italian, etc., have been studying on Anatolian archaeology and archaeometry and getting study on archaeometry since 1920s, very long time, 100 years. On the other hand, in 2006, the protocol was signed for purposes of using high technology for the examination of cultural heritage between Turkish National Agency of Nuclear Energy and the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. In the first steps, the chosen artifacts, you see the entrance of the museum, Anatolian Civilization Museum in Ankara. This museum in Ankara were scanned by portable devices, their archives, and in their collections. What we have in our country, this is figures. Ministry of Culture and Tourism was found in all departments, were separately from the Ministry of National Education in 1974, 40 years ago. The department's general director of Cultural Heritage and Museums and General Director of WACFs under the ministerial structures generally responsible for or not maintenance alone, also restoration and conservation of historical monuments in Turkey and also artifacts in the museum. About 100,000 archaeological points we have in Turkey. About 13,000 archaeological and 448 archaeological nautical science has registered officially in Turkey. In 2014, 200 excavations, including 3 underwater excavations, were performed by national, international teams. 44 excavations directed by foreign teams, German, American, Italian, British, Austrian, French, Belgian, Swedish, Japanese, Canadian, Dutch teams produce archaeological information and archaeometrical as well. The finds very much about in the museum, very big, huge amount of this. Archaeological, ethnographical, and mostly metallic things. The big part of this coin, tablet, in the historian period, seal stamps, archive material, manuscript, very much about fossil and skeleton finds, medal and medallion, banknote, others. Add them up, more than 3 million artifacts waiting for the archaeological archive methods and archaeometrical research as well. We have very big sets in our country. Archaeometry for the museum artifacts, do preventive conservation. I want to say something about the archaeometrical approach and what we have as a material in the museum. Earthenwares, pottery, ceramics, tiles, glasses, etc. Very much about in the collection. The second one is stone tools. I mean the museum, open air museum, and the museum as a gallery, both. Obsidians, marbles, used for tools, arrow tips, mirrors, so many things. Metallic artifacts is the second biggest set in the museum. Jewelry.
Dr. Ali, you have about 1 minute.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, building materials, skeletons, food, storing materials, seeds, so many artifacts. If you think about the, what about the archaeometrical approach? The first one is the to see the, what is this composition of to find? What substance or substance it's made up of? And what techniques was it done? What was it used for? The material location. What about the location? When was it made? Very popular dating studies. And the original, is it original or not? The conservation approaches, alteration period. So at the end, how do finds related to living cultures, ethno-archaeological things feed the archaeometry as well? Archaeometry generally used the artifact studies as a 4 different parts: dating, conservation, prospection, and compositional studies. There is some material and some techniques for the archaeometric techniques. This is a very, very long story, and other different many seminars. For example, aging with the artifact paintings, analysis of the dyes and pigments, papyrus, shards, metals, so many things. We have so many analysis methods as well. Archaeometry laboratories in the museum laboratories in Turkey. A digital archive project was created last year by the cooperation of Ministry of Culture and Tourism and the Museum Associations Cooperation. And this year it started to be used by the museum for. These are the first laboratory in Turkey, not only the conservation for the archaeological restoration purposes. Another one, this is the private one focused on the textile and pigment purposes, this kind of laboratory. Another laboratory is one in the university. They are using portable and stationary, very big, huge techniques and instruments. Mostly in this period, the portable one is the very important now for the archaeological studies. Not only this is university studies support the archaeological part. These are the examples of the world examples. In our country, 90% of the museum haven't got any conservational laboratory or archaeometrical laboratory. We
Dr.
need
Ali,
much
I think you
about
need
this
to
kind of
finish
stuff.
your paper.
Yeah, this is the last two slides for
Thank
me.
you.
This is one of the good example of the Bodrum Museum Lab for the conservation and any other example in the Turkey. Thank you for the attention. Archaeometry is the last verse, is the heart of the conservation and restoration in the museum. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ali, for the rather interesting and very scientific archaeometry.
This is the quartzite mineral shaped, heart-shaped quartzite mineral.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I hope also the participant has also enjoy it and learn as much as I have. Thank you very much. So with that, we come to the last but not the least of the speaker for today, who is Sadat Ghana, who is the woman of this seminar. She's a woman who's been very instrumental in setting up this virtual webinar. And thanks to her that we are all here gathered today to be able to enjoy each other's paper and company as well. So Dr. Sadat Ghana is the president of KUMID and project coordinator Turkey. Allow me to read a little bit about her CV. She studied economy, commerce, and worked in a bank. Do you still work in a bank? Unmute. Do you still work in a bank? Can you unmute yourself? She doesn't understand. Anyway, she's
your microphone is not open, Sadat,
unmute.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I share. Sorry for this.
I'm asking, do you still work in a bank? Because your CV said you work in a bank.
She is retiring.
Bank of the Republic of Turkey.
Okay. Anyway, she's now a free international project designer and coordinator in Turkey for unemployed and assisted persons.
Means that you're still playing with money.
Yeah. we should consult her. And
yes.
she's one of the founder members of the Friends of Cultural Heritage, Istanbul, Turkey, and World Association for the Protection of Tangible and Intangible Cultural Heritage in Times of Armed Conflict, Rome, Italy. And from 2006, she acts as the president of the executive committee of KUMID and has taken part in European Union project coordinated by KUMID and presented numerous papers at national and international conference. So with this very impressive CV, may I call upon Sadat to present her paper.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dear chairs, dear participants, dear host, moderator, thank you very much for your taking me the floor, the chair in this conference. Thank you all speakers for their excellent presentation. I feel myself in a lecture in the university's Department of the Protection of the Cultural Heritage, blah, blah, blah. In my presentation, I would like to talk you about the UNESCO Cultural Heritage handbooks and core principles of the preventive conservation. Before starting my presentation, please note and visit this link. Download the handbooks on your computer and translate them to your native languages by staying in touch with your National Commission for UNESCO, print, distribute, and introduce them. Our association, KUMID, has also applied this method. It is very easy. UNESCO encourages the publication of the titles in the Movable Heritage Outreach Program Handbook series in other languages in order to provide authoritative advice on the conservation movable cultural heritage to museum professionals worldwide. Okay, this is UNESCO handbooks translated into Turkish and our association, located in Istanbul, Turkey, celebrated 10th anniversary of its establishment by translating UNESCO Cultural Heritage Protection Handbook from English to Turkish, and with its own means into 2016. The publishing work, it is very important. The publishing work was crowned with an authorization to use logo UNESCO headquarters and Turkish National Commission for UNESCO on the publication. It is a very honor for us. Those expos, this is the opening ceremony of the introducing our handbooks. For our handbooks, we make a lot of introduction in Turkey and abroad through national and international conferences, lecture series at the universities, museums, Vienna, Napoli, Capri, Amman, in Turkey, Izmir, Istanbul, etc. Let's start it. The book Security in Museum. We learned, it is understood from that handbook that security in museum may never be interrupted, and also that security staff should watch for a missing artifact during day-night shift. For example, an artifact could have been taken to a restoration laboratories at that time. And security guard systematically, carefully, calmly, politely monitor the windows, doors, locks, keys, water pipes, electricity, warning, garbage, etc., etc. The security guards also monitor the visitors, their clothes and behaviors, and understand undesired activities close the museum even if outside. For example, carnival and championship, etc. We also learned that this handbook, security guards' primary duty to protect the museum itself. Those guides are not tourist guides. When they faced a question from visitors, should give information only the museum building security and rules of that apply. That's all. For example, museum protection duty never step. Only seconds to damage a painting. This is the original English version of the book. For example, let's remember together. Students visited an art gallery in Taipei, Taiwan on September 2015 in a school trip. They walked around the gallery in company with their teachers, seeing artifacts among which were very priceless paintings. A student with a can of soft drink in hand lost his balance while passing by the invaluable painting, leaned against the painting so as not to be fall. Great damage. The painting is delivered to the skilled hands to waiters. No. Selfie is another big problem, museums to harm the objects. Another real incident. Security guard monitor cleaning operation and occasionally check the contents of the trash bins also. Monitor and if necessary prevent activities around the museums, for example. Good cleaning by the cleaning personnel, paintings. Care and handling manuscripts. Manuscripts, you know, very the precious products of our culture form the first-hand sources of the science and arts communities as they incorporate core knowledge on the area and place of their production in terms of history, religions, language, philosophy, geography, astrology, physical science, etc. The second handbook of UNESCO will serve as a reference book for care and handling of rich manuscripts in the countries. Some museums of which manuscripts are still stored together with the archaeological artifacts, unfortunately. For example, wash and dry hands prior to handling. Cotton gloves are highly recommended in this book. Using vacuum cleaner, transport manuscript. Inventory or documentation of the handbook is the documentation. Inventory is a legal obligation for those engaged in museum work. We know this obligation. This handbook is intended for those responsible for public and private collections, among with collectors and fanciers of artifacts with social, artistic, and historical value. This handbook explains the core principles, documentations. This is some suggestion UNESCO in the books in English. Disaster risk management for museum, for handbook of UNESCO. Every country should be ready for all kinds of disaster, natural and man-made disaster should prepare risk management plan for primary and secondary risk. For example, earthquake is considered as primary risk and fires occurred after the earthquake is recognized as a second risk. I would like to share logical risks came from logical location, geological location. For example, natural disasters. You can see. Croatia, Greece, last man-made disaster. Let's remember together. And this one, it is very important disaster. I will explain. For example, aiming at prevent air attacks. Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS, the terrorist organization in Iraq, neighboring Turkey, launched an attack on sulfur facility, sulfur facility in Mosul on September 2016. The attack resulted in emission of poisonous gas. Then NICA released a map showing that poisonous gas was heading towards Turkey. An official web newsbreak forecast rainfall in southern part of our country within upcoming days and warned that poisonous gas had a risk of acid rain. The expected rain fell in the southeastern Anatolia. Mahmut Aydın, Associate Professor Mahmut Aydın, member of KUMID and ICOM, documented it. Documented the archaeological objects exhibited in Batman Museum Garden in Turkey. As a result, for example, it was first time that acid rain became an issue that was talked with over the electricity in Turkey. It is the first time we can talk about the acid rain in Turkey. Incredible. On the Batman Museum Garden, in the acid rain, maybe. We don't have. Another example, extraordinary and unexpected disaster. For second example from Turkey, small-scale tsunami that took place in Seferihisar Selçuk during the İzmir Seferihisar centered earthquake that occurred few days ago, October 2020. An old woman drowned and her death was caused by tsunami in Turkey and recognized the first death because of this kind of disaster. Tsunami, death from tsunami. The historical and Selçuk Castle, Kaleiçi houses and inside castle in Seferihisar built by the orders of Ottoman Sultan Süleyman the Magnificent between 15 were negatively affected. This fact shows us that among disasters in our country, we should take the tsunami into account as well. In this handbook, there are basic principles to consider when preparing a risk management plan for your museum. If you want to get more information about this subject, you can watch the KUMID session or the presentation about this subject on 20 December 2020. Book and headlines and some suggestions, some comments, recommendation from UNESCO. Establish the handling of collection is in storage. Protection is core function of a museum. When preparing architectural plan for a new modern building to be used as a museum, attention is paid to the fact that light, climate, moisture, damp, incest, water pipes, electricity wiring, furniture, etc. will harm artifacts in the exhibition halls and in storage. On the other hand, museum buildings of today were indeed not constructed for museum purpose. Such kind of museum buildings is created by converting a historical building into museum. For example, extraordinary magnifique, extraordinary beautiful museum built in Turkey nowadays. Although the exhibition halls were spectacular design storage area, we don't meet ideal storage conditions. Given the storage of museum accommodates 5 times more artifacts than exhibition halls storage area are the heart and treasure of any museum. For this reason, measures should be taken to store artifacts under the ideal conditions. Core measures are in the that handbook. You can see how can we handle transfer the artifacts. And it is very impressive last book of the UNESCO. Securing heritage of religious interest. Heritage of religious interest such as mosques, tombs, churches, synagogues, temples are used. You can see. The handbook is intended for all people, religious figures, the faithful managers and or owners who are in contact with heritage of religious interest and wish to protect more effectively from malicious acts, vandalism, theft, etc. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. As stated in the part of the introduction, this handbook is intended for all people, religious figures, the faithful managers and owners who are in contact with heritage of religious interest and wish to protect more effectively from malicious acts, theft, terrorism, etc. Recommendation, you can see suggestion from UNESCO in the back. Before recommendation, we suggest that before they start working, museum personnel, security staff, cleaning personnel should certainly be trained on safety in museum as well as artifact museum cleaning. Such trainings should be updated and rated periodically. Thank you very much for your attention and patience.
Thank you very much, Sadat, for the very interesting, and you have seems to have very comprehensive handbook for museums. Yeah, and it's really interesting to know that you have a handbook for religious objects collection in a museum. Really, job well done. Thank you very much. And on that note, we come to the end of this session. But before we do, there's an online question for Dr. Ali from Zahida. Hang on, I will read it. Let me read. Hang on. Oh my God. Yeah. It is. I have question. Could you please shed some light on the mechanism the government and private institution work on conservation, Dr. Ali, as there might be an issue of handling and taking of artifacts? Can you answer that? Yeah.
Of course, I answered in the chat part. Again, I can repeat it again.
Yeah.
In Turkey, there is no restriction for the private institutions, both working together, governmental or private. But the only restriction is the excavations. Excavations are carried out by only academic groups under the laws of our country. Private groups or institution cannot do this. But as a service, private organization can give a service, special service for the conservation and archaeometrical analysis side. They both can work together in any project base or protocol, so many things, national, international based. There is no restriction, first of all. And then the excavation and the archive controlling is very important. We have so many private museums, maybe more than governmental museum. Private museum we have in each city or metropoles. So many, more than 300, I think, the registered one. The governmental museum number is 200, archaeological museum and ethnographical museum, both. I couldn't hear you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ali. Thank you for
Thank you so much.
answering the question. As there's no more question on the chat room, may I also ask the other speakers if you have anything to say in addition, give like a minute, 2 minutes that you want to add in. I'll start with Nimala. Do you have anything to add, Nimala? Unmute.
Can you just a brief to answer the question about the restriction? I think in Malaysia is the same with what Dr. Ali said, that the private and the public museum, we have no restriction on, but on the tangible or the artifacts. But for the historical monuments, for the excavation, for the underwater excavations, that is under the authority of the government, fully under the government. So there is a restriction from the private to, to do the any conservation on that particular area. That's all. And thank you for listening for my presentation, and thank you also for all the excellent presentation from all the presenters. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you from Malaysia.
Thank you, Nimala and Fazli.
Yes, as it's a very academic session and morely related to research session. So the Afghaner was right. I want to make a request, and that is that I'm open to research on Pakistani research. Any of your student, teachers, or researcher wants to work on the Pakistani topics, you are welcome to my university, my institute, and we will provide the residence. So it's normal, and we are open to research, and we will be happy to collaborate with you all, and probably Abbas will support me.
Thank you, Fazli. And since Hadija is not there, I'll ask Sadat. You have any last thing that you'd like to add? Can you unmute, please? Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
Okay.
You just like to say add something to today's session, please?
Yes, thank you very much for the excellent presentation of the all speakers. Very, very successful session of the International Visual Conference of Museum. Tomorrow, see you in Pakistan.
And thank you very much. But I'd like to ask Hadija. She's not here. So nonetheless, I would like to request Datuk Kamarul. You have any advice for us for the seminar? Please unmute. Unmute your mic. Macam mana nak unmute dia punya mic?
Okay, thank you, Janet T. I think this virtual conference, I think we have discussed many aspects of how we protect, preventive step that we have to take from other countries. And I think we learn each other. And even though that Malaysia, we don't have a disaster like earthquake or storm or any big flood, but I think we can learn something because we cannot take for granted what will happen in the future. And I'm also impressed with all the presenters. I think especially from Professor Dr. Ali Khin. I think that is new information for us. And maybe in the future we can collaborate and to have more cooperation between all the countries who participate in this conference. So I would like to congratulate everybody. Thank you very much for all your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Datuk. Thank you for your last words of encouragement and advice. So with that note, thank you, distinguished speakers, the honorable keynote speaker as well, for your invaluable presentation and sharing. I hope all participants have benefited in one way or another on today's session. It was indeed very lovely to see you all virtually, on this screen. And amid this extraordinary time of the pandemic, I like to say, stay well, keep safe. Yeah, and on that note, once again, thank you very much. Terima kasih from Malaysia, and see you tomorrow. Thank you. Back to Sadat. Thank you. Back to you, Sadat. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, we have got speakers from Georgia, Lana Karaiga, from ICOM, Georgia. Maybe we can listen.
Say something? Yep.
Maybe we can listen Lana Karaiga from Georgia, ICOM.
Yeah, please
ICOM,
go ahead.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Please
take a floor, maybe.
Yep.
Different countries, ICOM. My our best friends.
Yeah. Well, we give you like 3 minutes to. Yeah.
Lana Karaiga. Lana.
Where are you? Where are you?
Okay. I don't.
Can you find her?
Lana. No. Unfortunately, I didn't.
She's not there.
Yes, she's not there. Yes.
Okay. On that note,
thank you.
Thank you very much again. Stay safe and God bless. Stay safe, yeah? Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye. Bye.
Tomorrow.
Bye. Bye.